What's up guys, Don with Quick Improvements. Today I'm going to take you along with me. It's Friday, March 7th, and today I got kind of a casual Friday. Got 2 estimates this morning. Going to meet up with a buddy. We're going to make a scrap run. We collect scrap to help pay for our storage unit where we store a bunch of equipment. Going to do a job check. Hopefully finish spraying up some cabinet doors and a little bit of time on the computer. So before I leave the house, I got all my beverages, I have my lunch, I'm a meal prep guy, so I got all my meals starting from, well, I ate breakfast, but all the way up to my last meal at about 8 p.m. Never leave the house without my work bag, job binders. Oh yeah, we got a contract signing this afternoon. How could I forget that? Really important. We're gonna go sign another basement. So we got that. Other job binder for another basement we'll go through today. My notebook, my iPad, those are just a few of the things I never leave the house without. So yeah, let's go for a ride. All right, so we're heading to our first estimate now. The first estimate is out in Butler, Wisconsin. For those not familiar, just outside of Milwaukee. I believe we're looking at just some drywall, hang some drywall, finish some drywall. The homeowner is a master plumber, I believe, and he's redoing his bathroom. Basically, he just wants someone to come in to hang and finish, and I'm gonna guess probably paint the drywall for him since he has the capability of doing everything else. So kind of a quick and easy one. The estimate we're gonna run after that is down in New Berlin. That one I'm not so sure of. I got a weird email from an older couple. It seems like they got my name from a realtor. I'm not really sure who or how. They have some kind of like glass cabinet case that they're looking to replace the glass and put in some new like finished doors with glass. I couldn't really understand what the guy was asking me over email, but the least I can do is go stop out, show face, have a conversation with them, and if we're not interested, we're not interested. If there's something I think we can do for the guy, obviously I'll give him a price and see what we can do. He gave me a number that he wants to keep the project under, which is kind of one of those numbers that's, could it be done for that price? Probably. Would it be wise to take the project for the price? That is to be determined. Sometimes the smaller, easy projects, those are the ones that'll creep up on you that you don't really end up making a lot of money on. And those are the ones that have the biggest headache and end up eating most of your time. So there's one thing I've learned over the years, it's that sometimes those little projects that seem easy, quick cash grabs, sometimes depending on the state of things and what else is going on, sometimes it's better just to walk away or try to refer someone else that you might know who might have the time or maybe a little bit more expertise in that project. So that's kind of what we're up to for estimates so far. We're just about to the bathroom that we're going to look at, and hopefully I can give you some more updates either during or after the estimate. All right, we just finished up estimate number 1. So the first one was drywall in a bathroom remodel. Didn't get any video inside. It was, it's in the master bedroom. It felt a little too invasive. Obviously, if I do a project for someone, I usually ask for their permission if I can film and take pictures of the job while it's ongoing and and then through the process. Seeing as it was just an estimate, it was in someone's bedroom. Like I said, I just didn't get any video, but pretty straightforward. Everything was down to the studs. The guy still has to insulate it. They're going to do a tile shower. So we're just going to be responsible for, my count was like 8 or 9 sheets. So it'd be pretty simple, just mud tape. He's even going to texture it. So just need someone to hang it, someone to mud and tape it. Pretty straightforward. Could be a quick, easy job. So we are now on to estimate number 2, and that is the cabinet door guy. Like I said, I don't know how this guy found me. So he also was calling me by a couple different names in the emails. So we'll see how this one goes. This might be a little weird. I don't really know what we're walking into, but that's just how it goes. All right, stay tuned. All right. right, we just wrapped up our second estimate of the day. Yeah, it went pretty well. That was the one I was a little uncertain of. I didn't know who the people were. They, like I mentioned, in the email, they kept naming me different people, so it was a little confusing. Super nice couple. Basically, they have a older home with a kind of, I guess you could call it like a china cabinet, with a big glass display. It's a sliding glass. They don't really love the look of it, but they love having the glass display, so they're looking for more traditional, more modern style cabinet door to put on there, just to kind of update it so they don't have the sliding glass. So pretty simple. The budget they gave me, it'll be tight, but I think we can make it work. Basically just going to need to get 2 custom cabinet doors made that have glass and some hinges on it. Probably put some magnets on it so those doors stay nice and shut. The biggest issue I think is going to be just the size, because the opening is really big, so we might have to do a little building to build in kind of, I guess you could say, like the frame of the cabinet a little bit, just so those doors have something to kind of not only attach to with the hinges, but also kind of close to. So I'm gonna have to reach out to a couple people who I know who build cabinets, see what they can come up with, and see if we can help these people out. So next stop of the day, heading out to the storage unit. We're gonna load up some scrap. We got a small run today, but we've been scrapping for a while. Usually we go every couple months, every 2 to 3 months, and get enough money to cover a month of rent for the storage unit. So where I store some extra equipment, we get a really good deal on. It's an awesome spot. A couple summers ago, I renovated a old farm property with a buddy of mine, and the owner allowed us to rent one of the big buildings and keep equipment there. It's one of those things where I want to say I don't need it. It's a lot of space, so it's almost like too much, but the deal was great. I love going out there, and every year as I've expanded, I need more and more space, so it makes sense to hold on to, and it's one of those things where I don't want to lose. So we always do a little extra something. Like I said, we do the scrap just to make some extra money. I split it with another buddy now, and we're both able to keep some trailers there, some leftover equipment, or some leftover materials, some extra equipment, just kind of odds and ends, and it's conveniently located, so we hang on to it. And yeah, so that's where we're heading to next. Got the truck loaded up with scrap. We're gonna head to the scrap yard out here at the barn. Yeah, this is our storage shop. This is where we keep all our extra stuff. We even got a boat in here. All the tools, all the equipment. This is where I do a lot of storage stuff, and yeah. All right, scrap run done for the day. Walked away with about $100, nothing crazy. We didn't really have much. Honestly, we were pretty happy with the $100. We just put it towards rent, so it's more money in our pocket. We really just need to make space on the trailer to go pick up some extra stuff. So it was more just one of those things we got done just to get out of the way. We usually do it every couple months, and that usually covers about a month of rent. So yeah, that was just a Friday activity on a slower day. Now we are off to Menards. I got to pick up some material to drop off at a job site. I have the drywall finishers there. They got their base coat on yesterday. They're going to sand and start doing another coat today. It's at a basement remodel we have going on, and so I'm going to go there. There's a few items I want to tidy up there, check in, make sure everything's going well, and then we'll cap off the day with a contract signing, and then depending on the time, I'm hoping to get a coat of paint on some doors that I'm working on. But one thing I think that's important as a business owner, and again, being a younger guy with a small operation, day to day it's just me, I do think it's important to still have kind of side hustles. Like I said, we do scrap. Buddy and I, we do scrap because it helps pay the rent for the barn. So the rent we pay on the barn is a little under $400 a month. So every dollar towards that counts. I don't see what's the big deal. I mean, it's maybe a 2-hour thing out of my time every couple months to go make $400 that covers an expense. Now, as I scale up, will those things be as important? I don't know. But I do think that just because you own a business doesn't mean that you should corner yourself into only doing those things. Now, the things I would do as a side hustle are generally the things now that I've made a business out of, so I'm limited. But I do think it's important to still have some of those things that you can bring in a little extra money here and there, because who doesn't like a little extra money? Especially if it's cash, keep it off the books, a little extra spending money. So yeah, I think as a business owner, you should never be too full of yourself to close the door on any opportunity to make money. You know, even on some of these scrap runs, I've met people, networked with. You know, you just never know who you're going to run into on a day-to-day basis. So for me personally, I still like to try and do the scrapping, because it's just, again, it's a little extra money. It helps pay the bills on a couple of the smaller things. And yeah, I never think would ever get too big that I wouldn't take advantage of the scrapping. And I mean, to be honest with you, more times than not, it's as I'm driving down the road, I see something there, I pick it up, or if there's some extra waste on a job site that's just going to get thrown out, maybe I throw it in the truck and I stash it and we go make some money on it. I don't see why that's an issue, and I don't think that that should be frowned upon for having a side hustle as a business owner. So just a couple thoughts. All right, so we're in Menards picking up some Go Board. We got the Go Board. This is going to be for tiling in the shower, the basement remodel. Picking up 8 sheets today, and yeah, we're just finishing the drywall right now. The guys are there mudding and taping, but what we're going to do is we're going to install 2 sheets of it so that the guys can put the corner bead on. We drywall it so that when the tile guy comes in, he can just slide his boards right in behind it. So we got a clean corner for the tile to stick to, and the drywall will look nice and finished. So picking up a couple sheets of that today, and we'll head to the basement next. All right, so today on the job, we had the mudder and taper there. Today he did some sanding of the first coat, was starting to put on the second coat. They were just there for a couple hours getting that second coat on and sanding. Tomorrow they're going to come back and do a final sand, and once over, I'm planning on meeting them out there tomorrow morning, make sure everything goes well, make sure there's nothing that I noticed that they missed, and make sure everything's moving along smoothly. Then the plan tomorrow is, after they sand, is to get it all textured. So this will be a knockdown texture. Plan is to get it all textured and knocked down tomorrow, and then that way I can get in there on Monday and start priming and getting ready for paint. So drywall is just about wrapped up. Things are moving along smoothly. All right, so we're just wrapping up the job check for today. Checked in with the finisher, make sure things are all good. We're on track with everything there. They're getting their last coat on tonight, and they will be back tomorrow morning to sand and texture. And that means that I will be on site next week, starting to prime and paint. Finally, I get to get my hands dirty a little bit. A lot of these subs that I work with, it's great. They're a pretty good, close-knit crew of guys, so I'm able to spend a lot of time there and get really hands-on with a lot of them. So for me, that helps. I mean, the more experience you can get, I think the better in anything you do. But even for myself, just being a younger guy, you can't teach years of experience. You just can't. I'm very fortunate to be in the position that I am with my company, and I've been very fortunate to learn from some really good tradesmen over the years, and some not so great tradesmen. I think every person has a lesson that you can learn from them, good, bad, and otherwise. And that's what I try and do. Everyone on site I try and talk to as much as possible, ask as many questions, understand how they do things, but also too, as being a remodel contractor, I think it's important to understand how each sub does their work. So I know that my framers like to do this, my electrician likes to do that, the plumber does this, and how that goes. So then on the next one, as I'm building a more close, tight-knit group of guys who are going to consistently be doing, especially these basements that I do, I know what to expect from them. They know what to expect from me. I know now, after dealing with some of these guys, hey, don't do this, do that. They like it this way, they like it that way. And it just makes for a more smooth, expedited process, which means that we're delivering an even better product to the customer. At the end of the day, that's what's most important. So I do value the time on site, talking to the guys. I try and be there as much as possible. You know, especially when there's a couple things going on, like during the rough-in phase, I try to be there a ton, whether it's the framers, so they got the layout right, whether, you know, go through, try and meet with the electrician every morning, or the HVAC guy when they're on site. Just make sure they don't have any questions for me. It's always easier to answer those questions in person and go over it and make sure we're seeing it than over the phone. Obviously, I have the plans and everything with me all the time, but it's just easier in person. So I do value my time, and I think that it's really important, as being the project manager, being the general contractor, that I'm on site as much as I can. So with that being said, we're on to our next stop. We're gonna run to the bank, and then we're gonna head home, and we're gonna start spraying some cabinets. All right, we're back home. We're in the shop. We're gonna start spraying up these doors that we primed up yesterday. I did a whole video on how I go about that, so I'm not gonna go super in depth on that. But so yeah, we got them primed. They're gonna give them a quick scuff with the sander and quick get a top coat of paint on, and then I'm hoping to be able to second coat them tonight and have them done and ready for tomorrow. All right, so we just finished spraying those doors. Hopefully, if I can get the temperature up a little bit in the garage, we'll put the second coat on and I can get those out of here tomorrow and be done with those. So now, gonna quick change so I clean up and look presentable for my contract signing. Got that in about 45 minutes. Gonna quick answer a couple emails since I've been out of the office all day and running around. So gonna answer a couple emails, review the contract and the estimate for the project that we're gonna sign. Just make sure I got everything dialed in, that I didn't miss anything, so when we're going through all the details, I know them like the back of my hand. Like I said, I'm trying to be as presentable and professional as possible, so especially with the contract signing, I want to make sure that there's any questions, that I'm on top of any possible scenarios. This project we're going to be signing today is a little different. We're going to break it into 2 phases. Phase 1 will be completing the bathroom in the basement completely, and then in the living room area and bedroom, we're just going to frame drywall, insulate drywall, paint all the walls, and do everything but install the floor and the baseboards. The homeowner's just looking to break it into 2 phases just to help on from a budgetary standpoint. I always try and work with people as much as possible on the budget stuff just because I know it's an expensive project. It's a pretty big ticket item, and whatever I can do to accommodate, I like to try and do. Something like this seemed like a pretty straightforward, easy idea. So then we're hoping by the fall, we'll bring in the floor guys, put the floor in, put the baseboard on, do a quick touch-up coat of paint on the baseboards, and should be easy as that. So gonna get ready, and we're gonna head out to the contract signing. All right, all cleaned up. Read through the contract and the estimate one last time. Everything looked good. So we are on our way to sign the contract. This is the last kind of important thing of the day. I checked on the doors I sprayed before I left. It looks like they'll be dry enough to get a second coat on tonight, which is great because then I can get them out tomorrow. But yeah, this is kind of how I'm going to end my day, is signing this contract. So it's a basement contract. So one of the things that I like to do when I'm structuring my basements is, you know, when we sign the contract, I usually try and have a couple-week buffer before we start, because that gives the homeowner time to make their selections. So this customer, they're going to need to make primarily just bathroom selections. The plumber is going to provide a shower that the homeowners have seen, and he's going to provide a toilet that the homeowners have okayed. He's also going to provide the shower head and that trim for that. So that's already taken care of. But what I need for these homeowners is to select the vanity with a top preferably, and then also a faucet. And then in my estimates for when we do a bathroom, I always include pricing to hang up to 5 accessories. Now I need to know roughly what those accessories are going to be, because when we frame, we like to put backing in, so then when we go back and go to hang those accessories, I have taken pictures of where the blocking is. The pictures have the measurements on them so we can find them. Makes hanging everything super easy right in the backing, and then you don't have to worry about someone ripping your TP holder off. So that's also something we'll go over today with these homeowners, is that kind of thing. Paint color, floor color, or where I usually send them to a store to work with a sales rep, so they'll go through that with them. They need to pick out a tile for the tile floor, and I usually write up a nice selection sheet so that they can see that, so they can go through, check things off, send it to me so I have it. And I like to have as much, if not all of the selections made prior to start. Obviously, as things progress, sometimes things change, that kind of thing. But before I really like to really even start scheduling for that official start date, I like to have that selection sheet all filled out as close as possible so that they know what they're getting, I know what they're getting. I can communicate that to my sub, so when we're deciding where to put certain outlets or fixtures, that kind of thing, everyone's on the same page, everyone knows what it's going to be. So that will be one thing we go over today on the contract. One last thing also is I usually have, prior to starting a project, a sheet of just kind of a questionnaire just to make sure the homeowners are okay. Going to need access into the home, whether that's a garage code or a lockbox. Can I put a yard sign in front? Are they okay with me taking pictures that I post or making videos in their project? I don't post actual homes, but some people just don't want any of that on the internet. I obviously have to take pictures because I need to document the process, but most people don't really care as long as you're not giving the address out. But I always ask just to make sure where the dumpster is going to go. For longer remodels, I like to have a porta potty on site so that we don't have to have people going in and out of their personal bathroom. On this basement, actually, they have access from the basement to the outside. So in this case, we won't have to go in the house at all. We'll enter through the back door, right into the basement, walk out the back door. There's a porta potty on site, so I can ensure that unless there's something that has to be changed going on upstairs, no contractor will be upstairs. They get their complete home. Then it'll be clean. Don't have to worry about the in and out. Just makes everyone's life easier. I think it's a nice little detail. They can have a porta potty on site. Just one last thing to worry about is guys going in and out of someone's bathroom. Gives the homeowners a little bit of, we're going into their home. So it gives them a little bit of that added comfort of people working at their home, not having to go into their personal space. So just about to pull up, gonna sign this contract, and that's it. All right, contract signed. Another basement coming up here in a couple weeks, so excited to get that one started. I'll be documenting more of that process as we get going. So yeah, what I went over with the customers, obviously what the scope of work will be. I like to go over, change order process, any of that as we're going along. They already think about making changes. People always do, so like to make sure that we go over that process really thoroughly. I also discussed with them how the selection process is now started, so it's on them to start making decisions, and that will dictate their start time. I told them I like to give, within the next 3 weeks, I'd like to start. They were comfortable with that. That usually gives people enough time to make their selections and also clear out the space, because a lot of people don't realize it. You have a big basement, you put stuff everywhere, and now all of a sudden you have to compact everything to a little space because, we're going to finish it. So that usually gives people enough time to make selections, get the space ready, gives me time to schedule, get the permit, go through all the little nitty-gritty details and get everything ready. So that's that. That is, thanks for taking along with me for the day. That was just kind of not an everyday activity, but what I like to do on certain days. I try and keep all my estimates and contract signings to one day because, next week I'm going to be in the field actually working, getting my hands dirty, so I'm excited about that. But for today, got a lot of my office stuff done, so happy about that. And with that, make sure to keep an eye out for more videos. Make sure to like, follow, comment on not only my YouTube, but my Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Just search quick_improvements and I should pop up. I'm going to be posting there pretty regularly on day-to-day projects, day-to-day activities, things about not only about what I'm doing, but running my business, all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned for more stuff. Thanks, guys.